Hi James, what you have learned so far in physical education too?
Well, what I've learned from physical education too is having individual and team sports. For example, in individual sports, they have taught us about swimming, athletics, taekwondo, chess, badminton, table tennis, and those are the type of sports who are usually done with uh, done with just one particular person against maybe one another. And for team sports, we have basketball, football, volleyball, and baseball, which consists of like more than two players to play, having teams teaming up together. It's why it's called team sports.
Okay. And what do you think are the health benefits of sports based on what you have learned?
Well, of course, there are the basics being you can be healthier. You have a lot of endurance, stamina. You have having toned muscles. Um, uh, your heart disease. You have the heart disease being preventable. You can prevent a lot of diseases and being more flexible and a lot of other stuff too.
Do you like sports yourself?
Yeah, I do like sports. I play sports a lot of the times, and I don't play just one primarily sport. I play a lot, maybe more than three. Haven't really counted, but I like going outside and engaging.
Okay. Particularly, do you have any individual sport that you are doing currently?
I play football, and I also do swimming, basketball, sometimes. Badminton, I play with my cousin back in the Philippines. It was a very engaging sport. And yeah, that's practically most of what I play.
Hmm. If you would be differentiating all of these sports, what do you think would be the different strategies that you do for each of the sports that you have said?
Interesting. Well, let's say for starters in football, there's a lot of mechanics in terms of gameplay. For example, the passing, the first touch using the parts of your body, the parts of your foot, the technical ability to execute stuff. And whether in individual sports, just like chess, it's all about strategic manipulating the other opponents by using certain tactics, by maybe sacrificing pawns or one another. Sometimes in badminton, you can use certain feints just to have like the the thing is that you're throwing. I forgot what it's called. Uh, just to fake them if it's going far or if it's going shorter. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. What can you say? What can you tell the younger audience or a child from same with your age? How can you encourage them to do sports?
It's very fun. Just go outside. I know there's like technology now, and there's some things like esports, but having actual sports like football, basketball, even swimming, it's really beneficial. And besides, you get like really good bodies off of it. Like if you're eating well enough, you feel stronger, you feel faster, and you feel genuinely more confident about yourself more than anything. So go on, try out in other sports and stuff. It's very useful.
Do you think it is really practical to have physical education both in college and then the primary school, secondary school?
Very. It's very practical because health is wealth, and the more you grow up, the more you realize that expenses from just having surgeries or maybe basic medication is very expensive. If you want to avoid all of those, live a long, happy life, just work out, sports, and stuff.
Final words or even a mantra in doing sports or a quote that you like to share?
There's not really a certain quote that I want to quote on, but I just want people to enjoy sports as it is because genuinely it's fun. You get all of the connections with friends. I personally have a lot of friends who share the same interests with me, and especially they are in different countries. Some of them, like in my academy, there were people who are French, people who are Arabic, there are people who are British, and I get to learn a lot about their cultures and how they play sports and where they grew up with, and we share a lot of interests as not just as teammates but genuinely as friends.
So you've mentioned that you are in academy.
Yeah.
What are you doing in the in academy?
Well, there's a lot of things that we do in the academy. There are coaches who train us how to be physically stronger, mentally stronger, because sports are not just using your body, you also use your mind. And they're teaching us like the longevity on our sports, being you want to condition your body or stretch enough so you can't get injured. That can possibly be fatal and also quite expensive because there are possible that you can get surgeries off of injuries. And they're just teaching us a lot about stuff, not just primarily on what we eat, about our diet and our sports. It's just about like basically everything.
What is your role in the academy?
I am a center midfielder, and I also do coaching in a certain club. So it's generally a nice experience to have like little kids, seeing them play sports and engage in certain activities, like football, for example. And yeah, they're really fun to be with.
You mentioned about swimming earlier.
Yes,
What
I
is
do.
your favorite strokes in swimming?
I, I don't necessarily have a favorite strokes, maybe backstrokes.
Backstrokes.
Yeah, because you can float and you can see the sky, to be honest, while you're floating. I usually do it in like public swimming pools if we're going out and swimming because you can see the sky, the birds like maybe flying around, maybe a few planes here and there. But honestly, my favorite thing about swimming is after you play football is muscle rehabilitation, because of course you just played football for hours, going on for trainings, body conditioning. Of course, your body will hurt, but the moment you get into the pool and go out for swimming, it's not only relaxing; it genuinely relaxes your muscles. It helps rehabilitate them, like I said before, and makes you look good as well. If you've seen a lot of the people who does swimming, their physique is great because the water acts as like resistance to muscles because it's genuinely harder to move in water, being submerged in it.
What is your position, current position in football? And what is your strength, the position that you are excellent with, and what do you want to work on position?
Great question. In football, I play as a center midfielder. If you don't know what a center midfielder, basically it is the balance between attacking and defending. We are known as the heart of the team because we produce passes that can either save our team from certain progress. Let's say there will be defenders out there trying to get the ball, and for us, we have to have extreme technical ability to outsmart them, to outplay them, not only from just dribbling but also in passing. We have a lot of statistics and strategies that we have to do. Body conditioning, especially, is very important because you're running up and down the field, defending and striking. For me personally, my strength is passing. A lot of people compliments my passing. I got a really funny nickname, uh, and it is Mahika, which is magic, because the way I pass, no one expects it, but every time I do it, it's exactly where they want it, and I really like the reference for it. What I want to improve, maybe shooting, because shooting is not really my strong suit. Maybe you can see my stories sometimes in Facebook that I'm good in shooting, but generally needs work. Technical ability is also there, and maybe physicality. There's a lot to improve on, especially as a young athlete. But we'll get there. Just consistency. A favorite quote of mine would be um, that in order to get perfection, it has to be through repetition.
Any sportsman or sportswoman that you look up to?
Oh, good question. For sportsmen, I love Luka Modric so much. I'm a big Real Madrid fan. The moment I saw him passing the ball and having the first touch, playing beautifully is absolutely wonderful. There's also David Beckham, who has a documentary on Netflix. He's a, a great guy, to be honest, and he's a great role model because he's not only sharing about his life as a footballer, he's sharing his life as generally now as a husband, and of course in his younger days a lover. And for women, I would say uh, there's this one French footballer, and she's in Barcelona. She won two Ballon d'Ors. She won the Ballon d'Or just last year. I forgot her name because it is in
Is it
French.
at
I
Emma?
forgot. No. She's French. She's French.
Okay.
Uh, she's wonderful. Because she's doing football as a woman, and people overlook women's football. I don't understand really why. I know that the men's football are more competitive, but it doesn't mean that we have to look down on women's sports. They're really good, and I have great respect to national team of the Philippines as the women's league because they're doing so much because they qualified in the World Cup and they did score and win in a game in the World Cup, and it's going to spark a lot of interest in football, not only for men in the Philippines but globally and women as well. So it's very important for them.